Check, check. That's weird. That's weird that there was no sound. Could you guys hear me on... You guys could probably hear me on TikTok. Yeah, they could hear me on TikTok. That's so weird. My OBS settings just changed my mic back to default. Santino, I know, but thanks for the $2 super chat. I appreciate the support, Santino. Yeah, I wasn't muted on TikTok. I was just muted on that's weird. And then my donations, something just happened there too. It's like, oh, my audio properties are all effed up. Give me a second. What the heck? Monitor and output. Yeah. Monitor and output. Mic. Check, check. Yeah, you guys can hear me now. Okay, good. Let's see. Monitor. Oh, that's echo. Check, check, check. That's good. I want to make sure you guys can hear the donations as well. We'll do monitor. Hopefully that's all good. Let me know if... Okay, hopefully that's all good. Alrighty. All right. Anyways, let's talk about some things. Santino, $2 super chat. I appreciate you. Thoughts on another nor'easter? Well, again, analogs still look cold for March. We'll go over analogs in a second. I have my analogs pulled up here. Right there. We're going to go over these in a second. Actually, pull these over to that screen. Actually, no, I'll pull them here. We'll go over all this. I still think there's a possibility late into February, early into March. I'm still thinking that. This is one of the reasons why, if you guys know what I'm saying, we now have the mean of the models almost giving us a full reversal of the stratospheric polar vortex in the last week of February. That's enough cold air to definitely get a March nor'easter. We have a lot of models still pulling this thing south and reversing the winds too. So, yeah, March still looks cold. We're going to get a big warm up here for like, a week across the plains and out east. This is not looking like it's going to be the end of winter. It's looking like we go really cold again after that for a couple of weeks, if not 2 to 3, and then maybe we transition into spring. Plenty of time left, though, for a handful of big snowstorms, really anywhere across the country. We know big snow is coming for the west, potentially some central to northern plains snow. Really watching, if we take a look at the national blend, we're really watching... Let's go to winter. I'll get to all your questions in a second. Let me just go over all this. I'm glad to be back. I'm watching this area particular for a mega snowstorm here. Seeing a lot of models point towards something. We know we're going to get a pretty big ridge out here just, for a little bit. And your baroclinic boundary is going to set up right here. So any sort of energy off the coast is going to have the chance to tilt and kind of bring blizzard-like conditions or just heavy, mesoscale heavy snow to the plains and up towards the upper Midwest. And that, of course, is going to include the Rockies, which is nice. So that's the area I'm watching closely right now. But things do look like, as we get towards the end of February and into March again, they flip back into the pattern we've seen all winter. That's exactly what it looks like ahead to me. Let's take a look at something really quickly. Don't worry, I'm going to get to all your questions. I just like to talk for a little bit first when I hop on. Just started streaming. All right, let's take a look at the last 90 days. And let's take a look at departure from normal temperature. All right. There you go. We have been freezing out east. Should continue. Let's look at the last 14 days. Last 7 days. Holy smokes. Last 120 days. All right, going all the way back to October 14th to February 10th. I think we hit this pattern a little bit before the end of the year again. MJO, not doing much, guys. A little bit of amplification here, maybe. All the way through the 17th. We'll see. This is what I think is going to give us a big snowstorm right here through the plains and up towards the upper Midwest. MJO slightly amplified phasing from phase 2 to phase 3. If we take a look at our MJO composites right here, and we take a look at our February MJO composites, phase 2 actually stays pretty cold for much of the country. So does phase 3 for February. Getting into March, I know you guys can't see this great. getting into March, let me move this around. Here, let's do this. Let's do this. 1 second, guys. Getting into, yeah, I mean, look at March. Phase 2, phase 3, still very cold, right? Look at phase 3. So we'll see what happens. MJO is wanting to do weird things. MJO is wanting to go from phase. Here's what the MJO wants to do over the next month. It wants to go like this: phase 2, phase 3, back to phase 8. So it depends. If we get into phase 8, going into March, well, guess what? There's still a cold signal out east. That's the only area there's a cold signal. I'm telling you, I think the east gets cold again. It warms up for a lot of the country. The big warm up, if that were to happen, although MJO doesn't know what's going to happen a month out, but the big warm up obviously would be right there, upper Midwest, Northern Plains, Northern Rockies. What I'm pretty confident in, though, in the short term, in the next couple of weeks, is we stick in this phase 2, phase 3, which is interesting because we're not going to see much cold air out east over the next week. Well, as this pattern flips here. Anyways, got some snow moving into upstate New York. Anyone up there? Most of this is this isn't from Lake Erie. So you got like Huron up there pumping snow down to the southeast. Lake Erie's frozen, pretty much completely frozen. Good snow though. This is going to drop a little bit of snow out here, by the way. Portions of the northern mid-Atlantic, New England coast as well. And we got some rainfall slamming into San Francisco. Good for you guys. A little bit of snow moving into Utah as well. Quickly, let's take a look. And don't worry, I'm almost done and I'll get to all your questions. Here's the expected snowfall forecast for the next 72 hours. Here's the high end. Now, this seems off to me, if I'm being honest. I think there's a better chance, actually, that you guys get a little bit more a chance for snow out here through northern Jersey and New York City and Boston and stuff, just by the look at what's going on right now. I think you might overperform there. Still not going to be much snow, but upstate New York, not bad. Upstate New York, not bad. All right, last thing I want to get to before we get to questions is nothing's looking crazy on our European weeklies. Nothing's looking crazy. Here is our Arctic oscillation. I mean, neutral, right? Yes, if the operational or control run is correct, we are going to be cold in the States from about February, we'll call it February 23rd all the way until maybe March 15th, the first half of March. And this is actually kind of what I expect. But the ensembles keep us pretty much neutral. I think our stratospheric polar vortex could look like this. I don't know, tropospheric polar vortex, I'm not seeing too much disruption here. I just have looked at the I'm trusting the analogs on this one for March. So we'll see. Operational keeps us very cold in March. Take a look at the NAO. Similar deal. Again, this would be very cold air. If the operational is right and we try to get into more of a negative pattern, chance for a nor'easter late into February, early March, cold air out east. But the ensemble wants to stay neutral. EPO positive, that doesn't help anyone with cold air. PNA, this could, again, colder trend ahead potentially for the West, trying to hold a negative. Ensembles are negative here, so really trying to, obviously, you can see what's happening here. And this is what's interesting, too. The operational control run of the European weeklies at this time is a negative NAO, positive PNA. That is your classic cold air down into the Ohio Valley and southeast and, low pressure trying to pull a nor'easter up the coast type setup. But that's the operational, and that's the operational out over 2 or 3 weeks, so I don't trust it really. But this would be a cooler pattern for the West if the ensemble is correct there. AI, European AI, nothing really happening here. Nothing interesting. All right. And last thing to look at, 12Z here. Here we go. Here is the 12Z Euro today. Potential severe weather right down here. Let's watch it. We're going to look at the analogs in a second. Severe weather down here this weekend. It's real potential. Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana. I'd say Missouri, portions of Alabama. Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky. Pay attention to that. Could get snow on the north side of this. I don't know if the cold air is going to be there, though. But holy smokes, as we get into early next week, big snow for the Rockies, potential big snow for the northern plains. Maybe even this snow creeps further south into the upper Midwest. It's a possibility. And then potentially another big storm following that. I think this is a believable pattern because the ridge is going to sit here for a little bit. What's going on, guys? Snow off the table for this weekend? Northern Jersey, you can get a little bit of snow, but not much. I wouldn't expect, if you get anything, maybe just a trace to a half inch. Snow for Philly, not really much in the short term. This could still, I mean, we're talking 100 hours out. If models are downplaying this cold air here, you're not really going to have like a warm nose here because it's not really like a tilting low. This is just kind of like a kind of clipper system. So if models aren't sure of this, of our surface temperatures here, it's possible you actually end up getting snow on the north side of this through Philly. I'm not fully convinced that this is going to be all rain yet. You can see the GFS turns it to snow right when it gets off the coast. So there's definitely members that put snow there, 100%. So we'll see. Possibility for snow there getting into Sunday. What do you think the odds are that North Carolina sees flakes again? You know, late February and early March, I think there's going to be an opportunity there. I don't think you're done with opportunities. But there's nothing in the short to mid range, so you know, I can't really give you much hope in the short to mid range, but end of February, early March, we could have a late snowstorm in the southeast just based off the analogs and the European weeklies. Operational is correct. All right. KJ, Jasmine, Brad, Ali, Nika, Kelly, Lauren, Tina, Stevie, Bo. What is poppin'? So what you're saying is Texas is straight to spring. Remember I told you guys, I know I took a little bit of time off. I've had to have, I've just been having it's been health things. Been tired, like brain fog and stuff. Just been dealing with stuff, but I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good again. You know, every now and then you got to focus on your health. But I'm feeling good now. So, but I was telling you guys that this is the area that I was worried about for February, just scorching. And I'm thinking I've been correct so far. Let me actually look at this. Well, it's been the plains. It's been the plains in general, not just the south. But since February has started, departure from normal temperature, actually not that bad. Not that bad. I mean, central plains is worse than the southern plains. Hasn't been that bad down in south and eastern Texas. Been pretty warm over the last 7 days. Especially up there. Northern Plains, Northern Rockies. Oh, yeah. What do you think the East Coast could get cold again at the end of the month? Yeah, I think the Euro's handling this somewhat correctly, where we start to get cold as we get into the 20th. I'll call it the 23rd. 23rd. I almost said 23rd. I'll call it the 23rd when we get a pattern change again back to cold in the east. Now, I know the Euro says, wait, another ridge. I don't know if we get that extra ridge here. I think maybe we transition back around the 23rd. So warm-up begins to move into the east potentially. The real warm-up as we get into the 16th through the 22nd. I think it's probably going to be a little bit warmer out east, but I think come the 23rd, we transition again. Look at the ensemble members for snow. Northeast Monday on the Euro. Let's take a look at the Euro ensemble. Winter. Yeah, I mean, you could see Northeast. There are obviously members that put snow into Philly. I mean, you have an inch of snow on the ensemble, 1.5 inches of snow in Philly on the ensemble, almost 2 inches into New York City. They're almost 3.5 into Boston. So there are clearly members that do it. Panels, winter. Here you go. Yeah, I mean, this model right here puts a foot of snow into New York City. Do I think that's going to happen this weekend? Probably not. Yeah, foot of snow into New York City. Sunday, basically. Sunday to Monday. This model right here almost puts a foot of snow into Philly, Boston, New York City, South Jersey. There are members on the Euro that are actually still convinced we're going to get a foot of snow into Philly and New York City. I'm going to tell you this right now. It's possible. I give it about a 1% chance of happening. I see why some members see this. There's not this like typical warm nose that's trying to punch in and suffocate the mid layers with warmth when this low pressure skirts through like a strong clipper on Sunday through the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. And models get temperatures wrong all the time by like 4 to 5 degrees at this range. It's possible. If the models are off by 4 to 5 or even 3 to 4 degrees right now for that area and they're too warm, suddenly you're going to get a bunch of snow. But this isn't even going to be great snow. Like, you're going to get a bunch of snow, and then you're going to get a big warm up, and it's going to be melted like within 48 hours, all melted. So even if you did, on the small chance, actually see this as big snow, it's going to disappear quickly, most likely. Yeah, I mean, look at this model right here. Look at this model from the Euro. It wants to put like 2 feet of snow into Philly, Baltimore, and DC, New York City. Like, I don't know what to tell you. This model right here. There's tons of models that are dumping snow into Philly, New York City, Boston, Baltimore, DC. There's a ton on here. But it's a temperature thing. Let's take a look at what the temperatures. Okay. When's the snowstorm moving through? Let's take just a look at the operational run here. When could this precipitation start falling? Right here. All right. 21Z Sunday. Take a look at the temperature, surface temperatures. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. Our temperatures are very close. We're talking about 35 to 37 degrees in here. You don't even, I mean, if these temperatures are off by 4 degrees, it's all snow. So what's the GFS have here? Same thing. About the same thing. 35, 36, 35, 36 in Philly, 36. I mean, if these temperatures are off by 4 degrees, it's snow. And this is looking at the potential for temperatures 100 hours out. You see shifts like that happen all the time. That's why there's a ton of members probably in the GFS too that show a big snowstorm through here. It's just if there's an issue with the temperatures there. I don't think you're gonna have an issue with the aloft temperatures aloft. It'd be surface temperatures, just because of the direction of this system, the way it's moving across, the way it's moving through. Yeah, I can see why some members are doing it. I don't give it a great chance of happening, but I can see it. I could see it. There's a world where this ends up being snow through here. By the way, this precipitation line moves north if it's snow. If it's cold, that snow is going to drift, unlike rain, where it's just going to fall flat to the ground. That snow is going to drift north. All right. Interesting. There's hope. If you guys want some more snow in the mid-Atlantic, Northeast there. Know what I'm saying? You know what we didn't do, guys? You know what we didn't do? We didn't run the intro. Ow. Take it to the bank, cash it. I'm always right. I've never been wrong about anything in my entire life. Everything I've ever said has come true. That's what my wife tells me.
We look a lot at the moon.
There it is. They look at the moon for our winter forecast. We've had 4 or 5 wiener wrist zones. Just coming back. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Daddy needs some coffee.
Bob donated $1,000 and says, Connor, you are the best
Bob,
weatherman, and you're very tall, smart, and handsome.
That's right. That's right. I'm 5'10", soaking wet. All right. All right. I sound like my brother. I probably do. But I sound like both my brothers. So what is the mid-Atlantic done with snow? You guys are going to get more snow this winter. Remember what I said in my intro. I've never been wrong ever in my entire life. I can't prove it. Just trust me. Source. Trust me, bro. We going to get back to winter in Wisconsin? Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Patterns. Big snowstorm could be heading for the upper Midwest here as we get into the middle of next week. 7 to 10 day range is a very nice setup for something big up here. Very nice setup for something big up through these areas. Maybe even we get something a little farther south through Wisconsin, Chicago. It is possible. It is possible. Will Lake Erie melt? Yeah, probably in summer. You're going to get some melting with this warmth that we're going to get here over the next, with this warmth we have coming up next week. Erie's going to get some melt. It's too much ice on that thing for it to completely melt. But what could happen is you get a little bit of melt on Lake Erie because there's parts of Lake Erie that are like 2 feet thick out towards the center right now. So I just don't think it's long enough warmth to, you'll probably still have, even if you get major melt, like 70% of it frozen. So I don't know if your lake effect's going to turn back on for March if we get big cold. Can New Jersey see biggest snowstorm of the season in March? Oh, yeah, 100%. Some of the biggest snowstorms ever for the Mid-Atlantic happen in March. Look at the biggest nor'easters ever for the Mid-Atlantic. A lot of them happen in March. People forget. I will say this, though. Has anyone been looking at the Gulf of, well, I'm going to start controversy now. Mexico/America temperatures? I always just call it the Gulf on stream. Although I've always called it the Gulf. It's too many words. I try to say as much with little word. All right. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. Climate Reanalyzer. Have you seen the? Wait, what was that? Have you seen the fearmonger of the 20th through the end of February? It's wild. I don't think I have. $5 super chat from Joey. Joey, I seriously appreciate you. I really appreciate that. How much do you think for Lehigh Valley, PA, this Sunday into Monday? It's an all or nothing storm. You end up with some rain showers, or you end up with like 6+ inches of snow. There's, I would say, probably out of the 50 members on the Euro, and I'm showing you guys this because I want to show you what's going on with the Gulf. It's very interesting. 1 second. Daily sea surface temperature. We're getting cold. It's all or nothing for the Lehigh Valley because, as I said, your temperatures right now, they have you at 35 to 36 degrees 100 hours out. That could easily be wrong. Out of the 50 European members, I think I probably just, I saw probably 7 or 8 that put big snow through the Lehigh Valley. So if you do the math there, it's giving you like a 15%, maybe we'll call it like a 15% chance, 15 to 20% chance to actually get snow from that clipper that moves through. Our Gulf just is dropping in temperature. Look at this. Look at this. What's happening? Why are we getting so cold? Why are we getting so cold? We're getting cold. Interesting. That's going to affect a big snowstorm in March. Now, it's still warm enough to pull tons of energy off the Gulf, trust me. But you want a big nor'easter, sometimes you want your sea surface temperatures running a little bit warmer. This is fine. It's above average, above the 70-year average, whatever we're looking at, 40-year average. A little bit of a cooling trend there, which is interesting because I don't think we've had much. What is causing it? Because have we had a ton of convection over the Gulf recently? I don't know. Someone tell me. I've been busy. Have we had some upwelling? I just don't feel like we have. Let's take a look at this real quick. Tropical tidbits. This is important stuff. Ocean analysis. 7-day. Look at our Gulf. What's happening? Hold up. What's happening? Why are we cooling? Come on. Look at the Western Atlantic. What's going on? Yeah, you can tell we're trying to cool down here again, but actually some warmer temperatures. Average to above average still in the Nino 3.4. 7-day change. Yeah, I don't know. Lots of cooling happening off the coast of the United States of America down into the south and east. Now, this could just be some upwelling and we get warm. I mean, the waters are still fine. The waters are still fine to pull, to produce to put a lot of moisture up in the atmosphere, but interesting cooling happening right there. It's steaming hot in the Keys, apparently. That can affect snow. I think what's going to happen here, we have a lot of very, 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 we have a lot of warm air that's going to be moving across the east. That can do one of two things. That could cause more convection, or it could do both. That could cause more convection out here over the Gulf. We could get a lot more thunderstorm action out here and get even more upwelling, and our Gulf temperatures could continue to drop. Or we might get a nice flow of Pacific energy, and we might just get a southeastern ridge that actually warms our Gulf back up here moving into March, which is what you'd want for bigger snow up the East Coast. Just something interesting to think about. I have to look more into it. I've taken a couple days off. I got to get back. I got to get back into analyzing everything again for you guys. Let's see. What's the 6 conspiracy have to say about it? Wait, what? I'm just waiting for that big May nor'easter to catch us all by surprise. And I'm telling you, there's some big March nor'easters in our history. Gulf of Connors climate. Yeah, can we change it to that? B, what's poppin'? Blizzard coming to New England mid-March. Hey, you know, you never know. You guys want to have some fun and look at the CFS? Do I even have the CFS? Do they not even put it on Weather Bell because it's such a stupid model? I don't even know if they put it on Weather Bell because it's such a dumb model. Let me go to Pivotal Weather real quick. Let's look at oh, is that the GFS? Wait, did they just completely? What's going on there? Okay, let's go CFS. Okay. Hold up. Why am I so zoomed out? Let's take a look at the CFS. Let's have some fun. Here we go. Let's look all the way out. All right. There's a big snowstorm from Minnesota and Wisconsin, 200 hours out, and maybe New England. Oh, what's that on the CFS? You know what's funny? This is exactly when I said the pattern would flip back east. I take back everything I just said about the CFS. And you guys know why. I've said it before. If the model agrees with my thoughts in my head, the model's right. I take back everything I said about the CFS. I literally said around the 23rd, I think our pattern shifts cold back out east. You know what? The CFS puts a mega nor'easter right on the 23rd into the 24th. 973 bomb bow cyclone. Yeah, correct. This is one of the best models we've actually had over the last 10 years. Fantastic model. Always look at the CFS and believe it. At least 600 hours out. Yep. Anyways, CFS likes big nor'easter. February 23rd. Not saying it couldn't happen. I like cold air return out there around that time frame, but we'll see. All right. That was fun. It is a model. It is a model that some meteorologists use. So you know what? Can't completely toss it in the garbage. It's probably right once in every 20 blue moons. St. Louis looking good for snow? Not in the short term. Lots of ridging over the plains. When we get this transition back to the east, when you get this ridge going, just kidding, we're moving back over here. Suddenly you're in that Bear Clinic boundary zone. That's going to happen probably in the last week of February, where St. Louis gets back into the game, the Ohio Valley. What does the term seasonal lag mean? Well, why isn't the coldest day of the year December 31st or January 1st? I should put it this way. Why aren't waters the warmest in the ocean in peak summer? Why are waters actually warmer why is the Atlantic typically warmer pushing into September and October than in the peak of summer? That's how I should put it. Why? Because land and water take time to warm and cool. And land masses, temperature, and the temperature of our oceans control our weather. So there's a reason the biggest hurricanes don't happen in the middle of summer, even though the hurricanes thrive off of heat and warm water. Because we'll look at that in a second. Kyle, I appreciate the $2 super chat over on YouTube. I appreciate that, Kyle. We'll take a look at that in a second. Well, you get all the sun over the summer, and the land begins to heat, and the oceans slowly begin to heat. but they keep heating as we're transitioning into fall. The heating is lags, so the conditions and the seasons, the seasonal conditions lag into the next season. So you get fall conditions lagging all the way into early December. You get winter conditions lagging all the way into April and May, for at least us up in Minnesota. Connor, I love your anime. Wait, which one? GFS. Yeah. I haven't even looked at the 18Z GFS at the end. Hold up. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's correct. Look, the 23rd. Okay, you know what? I agree with the GFS too. All right, I'm not going crazy, right? End of February, early March. Remember, I've been saying this since like February 2nd. Just remember, well, this might not happen still. But I do like the cold air and snow back out east. So, yep, GFS and CFS like it. Euro thinks we're a little crazy right now. But you know, time will tell. Time will tell. Are you going to agree with me, chat, or are you going to agree with the Euro? You know what I mean? Remember the last time we did a poll and you guys disagreed with me? 60 to 40? 60% to 40% disagreed with me. Don't forget. All right. Heard bad storms next Tuesday and Wednesday for Minnesota Twin Cities. It's possible. We're watching it. Let's go back to the 12s. Here we go. You got your ridge finally. Sharp ridge setting up over the plains and out east. This is your Barrett Clinic boundary we always talk about. Cold, warm air, potentially dry, moist air colliding. Tons of energy moving in off the Pacific. Lots of it. Lots of energy. What is energy? Just consider it rain. All right? No, I'm just kidding. Low pressure systems. Instability. Storms. Lots of energy pushing into this Barrett Clinic boundary here. And you're going to get something over the Rockies pushing towards the northern plains and upper Midwest. The latest Euro likes this bad weather to begin, kind of Tuesday evening into Wednesday. Maybe we get something else in the Thursday and Friday up there as well. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I mean, the latest Euro has like a mega snowstorm through, Nebraska, Iowa, Wisconsin, North and South Dakota, Minnesota, UP and Michigan as we get into, it's like over 200 hours out next weekend. It's possible. I like the location. I don't trust the precipitation totals yet. The tracking here makes sense to me around this time. How much snow? Expecting. Wait, how much snow? Who expecting? Who expecting? TX said, well, yeah. Fine, trust the Euro. You can turn off the heat for my area. I bet it's hot in your area. Winter's not done. Winter's going to reappear for everyone, even if you've been a little bit warm for a little bit. Do you think it will snow again in Connecticut this season? Yes. Very much so. Very much so. Very much so. Let's take a look at our analogs. Let's take a look at our analogs. All right. Not surprising here. You know what? Actually, we're going to transition this back over here. Let's go back over here. Nothing surprising here. All right. We're talking February 16th through the 19th. Here's our best analogs. Top 5 analogs. Yes. Fine. I agree. Warm out east. Cold along the west coast. Fine. No problems with that. A little bit of a problem with this as we get out towards the 19th through the 22nd. In my opinion, this heat's compressed a little bit farther to the south. I think we're actually a little bit cooler up here. Warm, but a little bit cooler up there. But notice what happens as we get towards the end of February. With our analogs too. This isn't just our models. The models don't have to agree with the analogs. What's happening here? Southeastern ridge. Suddenly we start to return. Average. Listen, this is February 22nd to February 25th. Average to below average temperatures for this whole area. It's cold at the end of February still for all of these areas. It can be below freezing. And I think this continues to shift and the cold air transitions back here. So our analogs kind of like the idea. By the way, severe weather-wise, Big signal here. Between February 19th through the 22nd. I'd call that Dixie Alley. Dixie Alley. Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, Louisiana, portions of Oklahoma, southern Missouri, Illinois, eastern Texas. That's a pretty good signal on the analogs there. In the shorter term, we know this is happening. We're going to get some sort of severe weather this weekend. 16th through the 19th. This is actually a little bit further out, getting into next week. But I haven't talked too much about the severe weather this weekend, but I think we all know where we're looking out for. This region down here, we're watching out for some severe weather this weekend. I'm surprised that the SPC doesn't have a day 4 outlook. I'll have to ask Matt about that. No day 4 outlook? No day 4 outlook? Hello? All right. There's probably going to be one tomorrow. You'll see it in my Discord when I update it. I think they're going to put one there tomorrow. More snow for New Jersey? Yep. I expect a snowy pattern to return in February, early March. I think you'll get a little bit more snow in New Jersey. I don't think your winter's done yet. Correct. All right, listen, we're going to do a 10-minute speed round. I'm going to answer as many questions as I possibly can for 10 minutes. I'm going to put the timer on my phone. All right? All right? Here we go. We're entering a 10-minute speed round. You guys ready? Whoa. Stop it.
Speed round initiated.
Oh my God. Oh, I almost forgot my glasses. All right, let's do it. I'm going to answer as many questions as I can. The timer started. Okay? Let's go. Will there be more snow? St. Louis in February. Oh, crap. You know what? I need to put on this type of timer. Oh, my gosh. No. 10 minutes. There we go. I'll take the glasses off so I can read. Will northern Illinois still get snow? Yes, more snow is going to fall in northern Illinois. I'm pretty sure of that this winter. I want to say promise. Yeah, remember, if you live in a small town that I don't know of or a county, just tell me what you're near. Eastern Nebraska, northern Nebraska, eastern Kentucky. I'm near Philadelphia, whatever. Snow over for Georgia, Atlanta. Late February, early March, we see a cold trend back out in this direction, and we see the chance for more precipitation. It's harder to get snow in late February and early March, but when you do, again, some of our biggest nor'easters in history, which a lot of nor'easters do put snow down in the south before running up the coast. Some of our biggest nor'easters in history happen in early March, early to mid-March. So with this trend, it's not impossible to get more snow in Atlanta, in Georgia in general, end of February and into March. It's not. Chances of snow from Maryland this weekend. I'm going to give you guys like a 10% chance up here, okay? Because, again, I don't think you're going to get a warm nose that's going to push a bunch of warm air into a loft. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think it's going to be surface temperatures, and the GFS and Euro have your temperatures like 3 or 4 degrees too warm for snow, but it's 100 hours out, and models get that surface temperature wrong all the time. And at that time frame, and we looked at our ensembles, we looked at the panels. There's a ton of Euro and GFS panels that all members that do see the chance for snow there. So, a big snow, like huge snow. I don't think it's going to be huge snow, but whatever. It's what it shows. There's like 10 to 20% of models that see like a foot of snow in Philly, DC, and Baltimore. Do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not. Do you want to hold on to some hope? And are there models out there that show that? Yeah, there are. There are members out there that show it because they think our models are getting the surface temperature wrong on Sunday. It's a possibility. We'll see. Is there a cold snap? That'd be crazy. I'd throw off so many meteorologists. Is there a cold snap for the South, March 1st through March 10th. If there's going to be one for the South, that's a good time frame to assume it's going to be in. That's my thought, yeah. They're saying rain next week in the Adirondacks. Next week. Yeah, look, maybe you get a little bit through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, I mean, not the beginning of the week. Wednesday to Sunday looks pretty moist out there. Sorry, I know people hate that word. That's why I said it very clearly. Any snow for New York City this weekend? Again, I'll give you like a 10 to 15% chance. I'll give you that. I was saying a 1%, but then I saw a ton of members that were like, yeah, maybe this is a little bit better of a shot. And then I looked at the surface temperatures, and they're like 36 degrees. All you need is 100 hours out for it to be off by like 4 degrees on your surface temperature. I mean, it can snow at 33 degrees, but 34 degrees too. $2 super chat from Casey. I appreciate you. Severe weather for swing outlook. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. I really appreciate that $2 super chat, Casey. Here's what I'm going to tell you. We're transitioning into an Enzo neutral. Enzo neutral, historically, out of all of our phases, all of them, all of our phases, can have the most aggressive tornado seasons and severe weather season. We saw definitely an above average Dixie Alley last year, which included portions of Kentucky, Southern Indiana, Tennessee. I know you kind of like got Hoosier Alley up there, but yeah, I'd expect right now going into severe weather, potentially an above average severe weather season for that region, Southern Indiana. Are we done? I appreciate that, Casey. Are we done with winter weather for the South? Again, hold up, not so fast. I don't think so. No. It's going to feel like it though for a little bit here. Ohio Valley was busy last year. It was. It was. I don't fully buy the tornado alley is shifting. We get droughts in certain areas with snow, 5 to 10 year droughts with snow, and then it returns. I mean, we've gotten some nice snow finally back into the Mid-Atlantic and New England coast this year. Some areas that haven't seen as much snow in previous years. So I actually think we're overdue for a big tornado alley season again. But the conditions are going to be somewhat similar to last year. So I think the Ohio Valley could have a pretty impressive severe weather season. I appreciate that, Casey. Another $2 super chat. El Nino rapidly coming? Yes, but we're probably going to be in an Enzo neutral for severe weather season. Yep, listen, some models are pointing towards a strong El Nino for next winter. And if you want above average chances for snow in the South, next winter might be your winter. St. Louis snow chance in February. Yeah, near the end of February, we start to see the Ohio Valley getting back into potentially a cold air pattern where it's cold enough for snow. So if the moisture is there 100%, your winter's not over. Is New Jersey snow done this winter? No, I don't think so. I would tell you if I thought so. Listen, I just don't think so. I've been saying this since early February. March looks cold. So we're going to end up, the East is going to end up with another month below average, I think, in February, because although we're going to get this warm up here, you're going to get another cool down at the end of February. So, all right. Agree with you on expanding, not shifting. Potentially, yeah. Listen, Tornado Alley tornadoes are like very different from Dixie Alley tornadoes. Can anyone tell me why? I know we're in a speed round. I'm going to pause because I want to answer. Okay, we've got 6 minutes. We've got about 6 minutes left in the speed round. Does anyone know why I don't like comparing Tornado Alley to Dixie Alley sometimes? The tornadoes are very different. Why are they very different? They're like super different. At least trying to predict them and their strength and sheer moisture. Yeah. Moisture is a big thing to do with it. Terrain, correct. These are all the right answers, honestly. I'd say moisture and terrain. Our Tornado Alley tornadoes, I mean, you're watching the dry line like a hawk during spring. No one's watching the dry line out here in Dixie Alley. They're just like, how much shear is at the surface, and do we have a lot of moisture, right? These tornadoes out in Tornado Alley are dry. The big tornadoes, the dry line completely drives these tornadoes and can really, really strengthen them. It's a whole nother aspect because you're not just considering the instability. You're not just considering the shear. You're also considering the dry line. These are like 3 main factors. There's more than that. Instability is caused by moisture, heat release, but you can pretty much drop out. There's a dry line that pushes out east. 100% you get a dry line that can push out east, but it's nothing like Tornado Alley. And I think what can happen is as we get more moisture into the atmosphere, waters get a little bit warmer, you get a little bit more moisture out here and it suffocates the dry line a little bit. Maybe that's why we see less of, we don't see as many setups from the dry line, but I don't know. They're just completely different. we like look at these tornadoes and these tornadoes in a different way, especially when we're trying to figure out, what our severe weather day could be out here if we have a system moving through, or what our severe weather day could be out here if we have a storm moving through. There's different things we look at that could trigger them. All right. Yeah, moisture and time of year. Yeah, time of year. Are you going to have a spring severe weather prediction? 1,000%. Yes. How's tornado season looking this year? Listen, Enzo neutral. Historically, Enzo neutrals are aggressive. Are aggressive tornado seasons? Not always, just most of the time. La Niñas, you've got a strong polar jet. It can kind of take out some of the instability from the south, reduce the instability that you have in the south, that you have in Dixie and Tornado Alley. El Nino, you don't get as much of the cold-warm air clash. A lot of moisture, a lot of convection down here, but you're not as much of a dry line. And when you're in an Enzo neutral, it's a very, very unpredictable jet stream. You get a lot of clashing air boundaries in an Enzo neutral. That's all it comes down to. You get a lot of clashing air boundaries in an Enzo neutral. And clashing air boundary, cold air running into warm air, dry air running into moist air. That's literally severe weather 101 for you. You don't want that to happen if you want big severe weather outbreaks, you want that to happen. If you don't want it to happen. Enzo neutrals are very unpredictable, and you can have quite the volatile jet stream. It's mainly the dew point and where the clash is. Yeah. It has us outside smelling the air. You could smell tornadoes a lot better in the plains than you can in the east, because in the east you're just like, it smells wet outside. You really can get a sense of when you're sitting when you've got dew points in the 70s right here and dew points in the 30s right here. It messes with you, and it definitely has a smell. Last spring was in an Enzo neutral too. Correct. Yes, it was. Yep. When has there been an Enzo neutral spring that has featured a quiet, severe weather season? I don't know. I'd have to go back and look. It happens. Just like we've had hurricane seasons that are extremely active in an El Nino, when typically El Nino hurricane seasons aren't very good, or don't produce a lot of hurricanes, especially not a lot of landfalling hurricanes, because of all the shear that pushes over the Gulf and over the Caribbean during El Ninos. It's very hard for tropical systems to survive through the Caribbean and Gulf in an El Nino. But guess what? Every now and then, you get an El Nino year where they sneak through one after another. Every time the shear happens to let up, a system sneaks through. It's possible. We're going to get hammered close to Omaha for tornado season. Again, I'd expect meteorologists, NOAA, our Climate Prediction Center to have a pretty somewhat aggressive outlook for this spring severe season. I just highly doubt they're looking at the Enzo neutral we're going into, and not just the Enzo neutral, but a quick shift from a weak La Nina to an Enzo neutral into an El Nino. It's projected to be a pretty quick shift, quick changing conditions. That's going to force a lot of clashing with our jet stream. I'd expect them to have a somewhat aggressive outlook for spring severe season this year, above average. What's poppin'? Saratoga Springs, New York, snow. Don't know where it is. But you guys aren't done with snow for the season. You got a little bit of snow moving through upstate New York right now. Maybe another clipper system as we move into tomorrow and Saturday morning. You're going to warm up for a little bit. But again, as we get towards the end of February, snow returns for New York. Mendelin, hi, good to see you. Hi, good to see you. Any snow on the radar for February 20th to the 22nd? Allentown area. It's looking warm. It's looking warm and potentially severe. Connor, honestly think winter's done here in DC unless a few days like tomorrow and Friday, but nah, I don't think so. I don't think it's done in DC. I just don't. I just don't. I just don't. I just don't. You're not going to tell me we're going to have a collapsing stratospheric polar vortex through February, and you're not going to see any sort of cold air or winter storm pattern try to return to the mid-Atlantic. This would be major. This wouldn't be a minor SPV. This wouldn't be a minor SSWE SPV breakdown. This would be a major one. Major. Whoa. Sorry, we're still in the speed round. I didn't even start this thing again. Oh my gosh. Sorry guys, I should turn that thing down. Yeah, what that means is the air in the stratosphere over the North Pole, and I say it all the time, but like I think people don't understand, is the coldest air on the planet. Yes, it is colder than the air over the South. It is colder than the stratospheric air over the South Pole because the South Pole is surrounded by oceans. Oceans moderate temperature. The moderated temperature moderates the land temperature. Land heat also moderates the air above it. The North Pole, the northern hemisphere, is just the colder hemisphere. Why do you think we see a lot more severe weather up here? Because we have the same warmth that the southern hemisphere has from the equator being thrown down to the south in the southern hemisphere by the Coriolis effect. Well, that Coriolis effect is throwing the warm equator air north in the northern hemisphere, but there's a lot colder air for that air to clash into in the northern hemisphere. We win. We win on snow. We win on cold air. We win on severe weather. We win on hurricanes. We win on everything in the northern hemisphere. It's pretty boring in the southern hemisphere. I'd hate to be into weather in the southern hemisphere. I'd hate to be in weather in Europe. I'd hate to be in weather really anywhere. But in the States, I mean, 80% of all tornadoes on planet Earth happen in the United States because of our geography. It could be fun to be. I love hurricane season. It's fun. I like hurricanes. I love studying hurricanes. So, out there, Philippines, Maritime Islands, China, Japan, it could be a fun place to live weather-wise. They get big snow out there, big hurricanes, but they don't really have much severe weather. They have some. Wasn't 2018 the last time we had a major stratospheric warming event before March? No, I mean, we have a major stratospheric warming event like every year. Well, not every year. We have minor stratospheric warming events every year. We have a major one once every 2 years, and then every now and then we have two in a year. Like we had the earliest SSWE, sudden stratospheric warming event in history, at least since the satellite era, in the early 1960s, at least since then, since we've recorded. We had the earliest sudden stratospheric warming event in history this year. It happened in November. They typically don't happen until January. It happened in freaking November. Thanksgiving. And this would be a second major one. This could even be a full reversal. So this would be an above average stratospheric polar vortex breakdown year for sure. What is spring looking like? Cool or hot? Listen, once you're cold for a while, well, it's interesting because we've been very warm out west. We've been very cool below average out east over the last 90 days. That pattern isn't going to keep going on forever. So I wonder. I mean, I'd suspect we have an above average spring temperature wise, but it's interesting because it's once you get into spring and you get into summer, it's harder to tell kind of what your anomalies are going to look like. You get a lot less friction with the jet stream, but I'd probably say we're going to see a warming trend for the plains and out east getting into spring. Not immediately. Again, I think early March is mid to early March is pretty cold still. I think we transition cold again out east, at least for the plain, probably east of the Mississippi, but maybe for the plains out east. All right. I have a feeling spring will start cooler and get milder as it progresses. Same. And I'm not just saying cold beginning of spring, warm at the end, because obviously, but yes, like cooler temperature anomalies to warmer temperature anomalies. Yes. What does Vermont look like next week? Let's see. Still looks like Vermont. No. A little bit of snow. Maybe a little bit of clipper system as we get into Monday. Maybe a second little clipper system as we get into Tuesday. And then some bad weather Wednesday to Friday. Look at that. Maybe all the way through the weekend. You get into Wednesday and we get a lot of crazy storms trying to fly up there into the Northeast. We'll have to see. This looks like a wild severe. This would be super intense. That'd be a big severe weather outbreak there, but whatever. We're 10 days out there. What do you think? What do you think for the rest of winter for Boston? You're going to warm up for a little bit here. Not much, but you'll get a little bit of a warm-up. I think the Euro's wrong right here, where you get another warm-up out towards February 25th, 26th. I think as we get into the back end, February 23rd and on, we actually stay cool back out here. And I think we get very cold again up there in Boston, moving into early March. Unfortunately for you guys have had such a freezing winter, but it is what it is. It looks like Vermont. What's North Carolina here? One more chance for some. Yeah, no, yeah. Again, I do think the Carolinas get another chance before it's all said and done. From what I see, our analogs doing. From what I see our analogs doing, and from what I see, teleconnection wise, and just from what I've been, my outlook has showed it for a while. Probably Murray. Syracuse getting snow overnight. You could get a little bit. National Weather Service thinks you guys tonight are going to pick up, let's see, 5 inches. Is that saying on top of whatever you've gotten? It is saying on top of whatever you've gotten. I don't know about that. Is this refreshed? Hold up. Let's go to the HRRR. Hold up. No, not another 5 inches on top of what you've already gotten. Syracuse is getting snow right now, right? You just got some good snow. Just thinking more is going to roll through. Oh, that's in the next 72 hours. Yeah, you have another clipper system that's going to try to roll through. That's why. Yeah, you could get some more good snow Friday or tomorrow night into Saturday morning, Syracuse. Okay, Millie, NTX was popping. Gold chain, Bo. I didn't even see that. I appreciate you. Kentucky, Slew said. What was the question? Oh, the Kentucky chances the rest of the year. Well, I don't know what you're talking about for snow. The Ohio Valley gets cold and gets snow chances again. I think the end of February, pushing into March. I do. Outlook for Tennessee for the rest of winter. You're going to be warm next 7 to 10 days. Get used to it. You get cool again after that, in my opinion. You're cool for the beginning of March as well. When I say cool, I mean below average temperatures. It's going to give you a shot for more snow in March in Tennessee. Take it to the bank. All right. Winter is not over. You crazies that believe in astronomical winter think what? When do you guys think winter goes till? March what? I don't go by astronomical winter. I go by meteorological winter. Hey, Leanne, when do the crazies think winter ends? The crazies? I don't even know what astronomical winter says. I had to tone out my teachers when they tried to tell me the start and end of winter. Yeah, March what? Crazy spring for Central Kentucky potentially. Saddy. You know, Mesomat will be all over that. March 20th. Oh yeah, the crazies think winter goes till March 20th. Correct. Well, this year it might. Actually. Winter conditions might last till March 20th this year for you guys down out east, I think, but potentially in the Ohio Valley. But Yeah. Meteorological winter that ends 19 days. Daddy. I don't pay attention. Oklahoma has its own seasons. True. Oklahoma's hot, 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 cold, hot, 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 hot. All right. The groundhog predicts 6 more weeks of winter. Yes. That would match perfectly with what I think. Winter's staying cooler conditions through mid-March, and then we out of here. The whole March analog is cold. The analog for March is just below average temperatures for everyone out east, from the plains and out east. I don't know if I believe that for the whole month of March. You know what I'm saying? When will Chicago get snow? There's a chance as we get out there towards the... I mean, look at this. Look what's moving in here. Look what's moving in here. And look at the ridge that's setting up here. All right, that's the 17th. This is a nice pattern for a chance for snow. Rockies, upper Midwest, maybe through Chicago as well. Nebraska could get a big one. Could get a big one. So, but we're talking that pattern sets up end of next week. Maybe middle of next week, that pattern begins to set up. Wednesday, Thursday next week, it was 50 plus in Iowa today. Yeah, it's going to get up here in Minnesota. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, 52 degrees maybe as we get into this weekend. Holy crap, 52 and sunny. People are going to be swimming in the lakes up here. Well, most of them are freezing or frozen over, but maybe they'll melt quick enough. New GFS coming out for Sunday. It's not coming out yet. I am going to make a video tonight. I'm going to make a video tonight with all your updates tomorrow. I'll try to stay up for the Euro as well. So, yeah. Chicago severe weather. I don't really see any severe weather in your near future. I think you're good on severe weather right now. This bad boy, maybe it shifts further north. Could give you a little bit of an issue around February 21st, but that'd be a pretty big shift. I'm a crazy. Arkansas severe weather, end zone neutral. Spring, get ready. Could be a bumpy ride for Arkansas this tornado season. Hey guys, I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna post a new video tomorrow morning. It's gonna be up at 7:30 a.m. Taking a look at the new Euro model that comes out tonight. Taking a look at what I'm predicting now is the SBC giving us a day 3 outlook because they don't have a day 4. They'll put it for the day 3. That's probably going to be through Arkansas, Tennessee, Louisiana, Eastern Texas, maybe northern Mississippi. We're going to talk about that severe weather. And just maybe, I don't want to do a March outlook yet. I feel like I should wait until at least February 15th. I'll do March outlook. 4 days. We'll see. But I appreciate you guys. Don't forget, if you want to join the Discord, there's a link to my Discord in every single one of my YouTube videos. All you got to do is go just straight into the description box in any of not my YouTube shorts or YouTube lives, in any of my YouTube videos. And then all the maps and everything we look at in my live streams and in my videos. Snowfall, expected, high ends, rainfall, temperature outlooks, every single thing. Hurricanes, earthquakes, wildfires. It's all in here. We're all talking. It's a good time. So I got to get back, making sure this is updated every single day. I think I missed one day. But it's in here. Now, my flash flood warnings started working again, which is good. See flash flood warnings as soon as they get posted by NWS. They're in here. Still got to figure out what's going on with my severe thunderstorm and tornado warnings. But anyways, it's completely free. Just join. You know what I mean? Just join. Alrighty. I appreciate all you guys. I appreciate you, mods. I'll be posting my video. Will be up at 7:30 in the morning. All the updates from the latest models that come out tonight, especially the Euro. Should be a good one. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, and I appreciate you guys being patient with me. I took a couple days off. All right, see you guys.